Hi, I'm DJ Ware. On this episode of the CyberGizmo, I'm going to be taking the Nvidia Jetson Xavier NX on a tour to see if I can make it into a suitable desktop. Right after this. All right, so let me take that. There we go. I'm going to take it out of studio mode so I can actually see the screen, because I'm looking at this with you on the over NDI. I won't explain my problems to you, but I do have some issues with being able to use the direct patch that's in the machine. So anyway, this is a desktop, and you can see that this is Unity. And I think what we'll do here is we'll just go down here and open that up. And it is running on Ubuntu 18.04.4 LTS. This is the Xavier NX Developers Edition. And this is running a kernel, a specialized kernel that was done by Nvidia for the Tegra. Which is the CPU or the SoC that this is actually running on, 4.9140. And their SoC is a combination ARM, and it is an Nvidia graphics system. So graphics GPU is embedded with it. So rather than use the Mali, this one is including the Nvidia. And we can look at a few other things. You can see that it currently has two CPUs at 1.9 gigahertz. But wait, I thought you said this was a 6 core. Yeah, it is. But let me show you what it does. So before let's go ahead and go into JTOP. JTOP is a add-on utility. There's a project called Jetson Statistics, and this is part of that. So if you do get one of these and you want to go look at this is a handy little utility. I'll put a link below. You'll notice that, yes, indeed, there are 6 cores, but 4 of them are turned off. And the board is designed to minimize the power draw as much as possible. Now, when it's in full tilt, it's going to floor the power draw, which is a whopping 15 watts. But, the normal mode for this is to run in 10 watts, 2 cores. Now, right now, as you can see up here in the corner, it's running it in mode 15 watt, 2 cores. That is the maximum performance mode for the machine, oddly enough, because that is pushing 2 cores at full speed. And you'll notice they are vitaled down to 1.2 right now because there's not much going on the CPUs. They'll bounce up every once in a while, but if there's something that is requiring something for it to do, but it generally tries to step back as much as it can. The same down here with the GPU. It's instead of running at its normal, I think it's 800 megahertz, it's stepped back to 1.14. And as it gets busy, that clock rate will jump as well. Some of the other information on here is you have a number of temperature sensors that are probes on the CPU, the GPU, and then the overall thermals. The AO and the aux indicators as well. And then you can see the mix between the CPU and the GPU is right here. And the SoC, or the system on a chip. The CPU is actually embedded on a SoC, and the SoC is a SODIMM-like connection that goes into the actual board itself. And that makes up the peripherals that allows you to connect USB devices, your monitor, and also it doesn't have audio, but your network for sure. So it also is where it gets power. So that being said, that's not what we're here to talk about today anyway. So I'm going to put this on too, because I'm more interested in seeing what the graphics processor does here. Oops. And I want to try to get this over to the side here a little bit. So the first thing I want to measure is taking a look at how well this system performs under a given workload. So I'm going to go in up here, and we'll bring up Chromium. And I'm gonna do let's do the speed battle first, and we'll see how well it performs on that. This is a JavaScript benchmark. You know the joke about benchmarks, right? You can design them to show any result you want. So 160. Let's take it again. You know, in comparison to the desktop, not impressive, right? But remember, I'm only running on 2 cores, and JavaScript is running out of the main CPU, so I could change the profile of this a little bit. So let's do that. Let's see if adding cores helps. So I'll take it all the way up to 6. We'll see if we get any better results here. Yeah, quite a bit. So yeah, 691, almost as powerful as the desktop that I was running yesterday. It was around 750. This is around 700. So that's pretty close. It's definitely slower than the desktop is, but yeah, once you turn this up, you can get some performance out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on this mode. On the 2-core mode, and just to see that it drops back down again, we'll rerun the test. I just want to verify that it did switch back. Well, yeah, it definitely did. So I got a 308 this time. We'll do it one more time. Just see if it drops back to the 100. No. Wow. Well, okay then. Must be measuring somebody else's machine, or maybe it didn't recognize the cores going away. Let's see. Let's go look at 3 here. Nope, there's only 2 enabled, so can't be running on mine. But that's fine. We'll come back to that. Let's we'll shut this down and clear the cache. So we'll do a BMark. That's the other thing I want to try to do here. And this is an HTML5 3D test. So let's see. But this does a number of things. So this is sort of a stress test to see at what point does your graphics card fall over and start floundering. So yeah, it's dying pretty quick. I see it at 54. Yep, done. Hit 10. That's when it stops the test. Does another canvas benchmark with looks like 2 3D spheres rotating in opposite directions. Measuring the frame rate. Looks like the same deal. It drops below a certain rate. Particle test. You can see them coming in on the sides. Quite a bit of fluctuation, and that could be because the clocks are moving around on the, as you can, it's not exactly pinning the clocks up at their highest performance. But you can see it's kind of stepping on the GPU and then stepping off, which is going to force it to go up and down like a yo-yo. So let's see. It says better than 59%. Is that what that says? It's kind of hard for me to read because on the screen here it's pretty small. Tell you what, I'll just copy this and I'll put it with the machine results here. Okay, so our score, we had scored an 81. Test 2, we scored 235. Total score for 848. So better than 39% of all users so far, and better than 92% of the people who use the same browser and OS. So there's probably, yeah, I know Firefox won't pass this test, but okay, fair enough. At least we know where we're at, right? Okay, so it's okay. Oh, I don't want to do this on no. Let's get rid of that. Let's go over to Firefox here. It's already up anyway. So back on the site again, and we will, in order to get this to work, I would need to do an install just like yesterday. QEMU, KVM, and Vert Viewer. So I need those two packages. I already have them installed. Now, one thing I was going to try to add a Raspberry Pi to the mix, a Raspberry Pi 4. And of course, that's in beta right now, but I don't think they've dropped the final code yet. Maybe they have. I haven't looked today. But at least in the Debian version of Raspbian, they do not have the QEMU KVM code. Now, I could go install Ubuntu's 2004 for Raspberry Pi and see if that does. So maybe I'll do that next time. But I just want to see the improvement between this one and using my back-end solution to get more performance from my low-powered devices here. This machine is really designed to run AI apps, and it runs them very well, but it's the GPU side of things that runs well, not necessarily the ARM. So, all right, so we're all set up, and we should be able to come over here. So before I do that, let me get back into JTOP here. And we'll put it back into graphics mode because I want to see if this is actually going to tickle the graphics card or not. So I can see something's using it right now. So let's see. Go ahead and open Spice. It should try to accelerate using the graphics card. There we go. Yeah, I just saw a whole bunch of requests go. Okay. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, so now I'm back up. And this is my work window. I'm going to try to leave it that size in order for that to appear on the right-hand side so we can kind of get an idea. This time, I am going to go run the WebGL benchmarks on Firefox because the x86 version does support WebGL. It's just the ARM version that does not. It may support it, but it sure doesn't support it very well. All right, let's go check our speed battle here. Same as yesterday. Let's see. We'll run it a couple of times, see if it varies a lot. Still doing okay. So as you can see, much better than the Xavier is. So obviously, so let's go and try the BMark. And we'll start to test this. If this works, this will take a while to do because what this is attempting to do is throw enough load at the machine that it can't keep up and the frame rate drops below 10. Once that happens, it records how many, I guess, whatever it score it figures out based on the number of boxes and the frame rate at the time, at the maximum end. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. So we'll just let this run. It'll be a while. It's pushing up around 45 to 50 right now. And yes, it is using the GPU on the Nvidia to render, so that's good. To render the screen, at least. So that's good. It doesn't see, I see a little bit of lag, you know, like a stutter. But I don't know, that could be a number of reasons for that. But let's see if it corresponds to when the GPU drops to 0. Yep, looks like it. Looks like the stutter is when the GPU is dropping down for some reason. It could be network, like the tasks are backing up, but I'd have to do some analysis to find out. I'm not going to guess. I don't do that. I go find out why something is stuttering and then go fix it. But this is what I mean by tuning, that you got to tune your apps and make sure that things are working the way you want them to. Now, I think I have it for busy. I think I have it doing the video. So on my, yeah, so I might try turning that off and see what impact that has. I did notice that one of the guys commented yesterday that he was seeing lag when he had the video as part of the spice enhancements turned on. So I might turn that off, or I might try filtered. Because right now it's really doing the whole screen. Which there isn't much activity except for in this window. Looks like we're halfway there at 22. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a lot more boxes. I'm just going to let it run though, because I don't want to stop this. I'd like for you guys to see kind of how this works in comparison to other machines. Now, truly, this could be, I mean, the Nvidia could be optimized better. I mean, this is not apples to apples. I mean, if I had Firefox on ARM able to support WebGL, and then I would have the ability to do this over here too. I could have tested the Ubuntu side with Chromium, but as you know, Chromium is a snap pack, and so I don't want to install it. That would be another difference as well. Chromium is not a snap pack on 1804. It's hard to keep things, unless you have exactly the same versions of the operating system, it's really hard to put a benchmark in sync. You have to take your time. Looks like we're getting a little closer. Saw it drop down to about 16 or 15. It eventually will stop. But it is covering the screen. So I think right now, I think you can probably tell that the performance is much better than the smaller machines. Not a huge surprise there. So you don't need a huge box to run Proxmox on. You just need cores and memory. So it depends on your workload. If if you have 3 kids or 3 members of your family that you want to put on, or 4, then you would need to have those that's set up for that many. So you need enough cores. Getting cores today is not a problem, especially with AMD chipsets. It's really not a problem. 14? Yep. Still going to be a while. It's almost covering the screen with boxes now. I don't know. Kind of like watching paint dry, isn't it? Okay, it's finally done. Or maybe it timed out the screen yet. Oh, not good. That probably caused it, just signing in caused it to drop below 10. So, oops, I impacted the results of the benchmark. Now, what I should do is redo this, but I won't do that and wait for in front of you. I'll just redo it, and then I'll come back to the end of this, and we'll see what the final result is. But I'm curious to see how this impacted it. Yeah, I won't make you watch this again. It's probably enough. Okay, so I'm going to copy these results into the same file. Now remember, I have copy and paste turned on. Or do I? Ooh, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't, because I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember being given the option to do that on this. So I'll probably have to put it here. And then I'll transfer it over later. Let's see what my first run was here. So yeah, quite a bit better. 80% of all users so far, 90% of the people who use the same browser in OS. Now that is based on, this time Ubuntu 2004, because that's what this machine is running. So it's based on Firefox for the 90%. That's why they drop in the number, because there's more people using it. But 80% of all the users that are recorded, and of course the score is significantly higher. I think the other one was 886. This was 2,884. So yeah, quite a jump in performance. So I think I'll post the result in the comments section for what I get on a clean run. And yeah, so let me just kind of cut back over here. So now clearly there's more testing that I need to do here, right? I need to go see how well. I mean, I have an idea that this is going to be fine. I think it'll be acceptable to me. I don't know if it's acceptable to you. If you notice some lag with the mouse and the keyboard, that's not to have anything to do with Spice. It has to do with NDI, which is the means that I'm using to record this. I've used this machine all day today, all day yesterday, in order to actually, check, see if there's going to be a crash or anything, happening in the middle of a demo. Usually that's where they occur, right? They'll go on, everything will work fine, and you start the demo, and then your machine will crash. That's normal. But anyway, I've been running this, and I don't notice any latency in the mouse. I don't notice any latency in keystrokes going to and from the machine. So, I mean, that part of it is good, but NDI, that is converting everything to a video, and it's rendering it on the other side, so there is a delay. Unfortunately, that's the best I can do for right now, until Blackmagic fixes the driver to support 5.7, the kernel 5.7. Hopefully they'll have that done eventually, but we'll see. Anyway, let me know in the comments below some ideas that you might have for some tests that I might run. I mean, I could run benchmark tests, but like I said, benchmark tests are designed to show whatever results you want to see. I'm more interested to see if things like, can I take advantage of the graphics processor on this machine, because it is a good one. And to some degree, yes. The answer is yes, I can. And that's interesting. And kind of a surprise to me that it actually was rendering some of it out. Now, you notice that it has gone back to just kind of popping up, running a few things, but it's mostly being quiet. I still would like to see if I could tune it so that the graphics performance is more smooth, so it stays more constant and not this up and down. Usually when you see a bandsaw kind of look to thing, or a seesaw kind of a look to a graph, that usually indicates something is blocking your data from coming as quickly as it could be coming. So yeah, and I know that one of the guys in the chat said, like I said that probably need to check on the video settings for the spice enhancements and turn those off. And I'll try that, and then I'll let you know how things came out. But anyway, that's all I had for today. Hope you enjoyed today. As always, please like and subscribe. Hope to see you all again real soon. Bye for now.